Sunday on ABC's Wide World of Sports. You will see that fight in its entirety. Stadium in Montreal, Canada, where the much-awaited battle for the WBC version of the World's Welterweight Championship will take place. Sugar Ray Leonard defending against the challenger Roberto Duran. Aluminum cover above it. And in the meantime, a late arriving but apparently very good crowd to be on hand. Hello again, everyone. It's good to have you with us for this event. It figures to be an exceptional one that doesn't need any build-up. The only real question here is, will the event itself live up to the anticipation? Let me quickly review with you how the fighters got here. Sugar Ray Leonard. There's a building adjacent to this arena. It's called the Maurice Richard Arena, and that's where Leonard catapulted into national prominence, winning every one of his fights in that arena in the Montreal Olympics of 1976. Every one except the final bout for the gold. That was in the Montreal Forum. Then Ray turned pro. He's fought 27 fights, won them all, 18 of them by knockout, won his title with a convincing victory, a 15th round TKO over so fine an opponent as Wilfred Benitez. Roberto Duran hardly needs any advertisement. The undisputed lightweight champion of the world. He outgrew in weight the lightweight classification. He's moved on upward to this, the welterweight classification. Regaled by the press, and deservedly so, as the fighter of the decade of the 70s. 70 fights in all, 69 victories, 55 knockouts. A clever, underrated boxer, but primarily a slugger. Tough, with a great heart, an extraordinary heart. Knows how to bob and weave, cut down the ring. And so it's the classic confrontation tonight. The boxer, Leonard, against the slugger, Duran. There's Sugar Ray Leonard in the dressing room. I have never seen him more composed, more confident. Yet, earlier there were written reports to the effect that he had fallen to 143 pounds and had been afflicted with a virus. These subjects came up in my conversation earlier with him.
Ray, some last-minute thoughts about the fight. All the weeks of bullying and braggadocio by Duran directed against you. How do you view it now? What's been the impact?
Well, I think from yesterday, Duran was furious. I think that he feels more pressure than I do. Duran made a few remarks yesterday. I kissed at him. I mean, he tried to tear the gate down. He wanted to get me so bad. And this is the key to the fight, to make him furious, mad, to keep the anger build up. So within the fight, he'll make a lot of mistakes.
What mistakes do you anticipate?
I saw Duran with Edwin Verrett, Adolfo Verrett. I saw him with guys that he was not able to either get into the corners or against the ropes. They sidestepped him. I've noticed that Duran cannot beat a guy or catch up with a guy if a guy moves to his right. Normally a boxer constantly moves to his left, but moving to the right, it throws Duran off balance. He has to get set again, and this is another thing that I can do to offset Duran's power.
Toe and heel fighter, right?
Yes, I will be basically on the balls of my feet, but then again I get flat-footed at times to establish power that they said I don't have.
You're taking cognizance of the press?
Sort of. Sort of.
Really?
I am. I think that after this particular fight, the press will realize that the guys that they say Sugar Ray can't deal with, or this guy's too strong for Sugar Ray, Sugar Ray can't punch, Sugar Ray has not been in the ring with anyone that is a legitimate fighter. These statements I will be able to silence completely, once and for all, for a period of time, because eventually they'll say, now here's a fighter that Sugar Ray can't beat. There's always going to be talk that I can't beat this guy, that guy, but I'm prepared to hear. I kind of like hearing my name being mentioned.
What's this story about health? Did you really drop to 143? And when did you have that alleged virus?
No, Howard, I'll be on the level with you. I was not ill. I told the guys, I said I had a virus and my weight dropped to 143, 144 pounds because Duran was complaining about his back, about his heart, about his hands. I started complaining too to make the fight more interesting.
I must say, Ray, you've never seemed more confident.
Well, I feel great and I feel just as confident, even more confident, because I really want to win this fight. I want to win this fight big, and there's a way I want to win it. I never say, hey, I want to knock a guy out, but I really would like to knock Roberto Duran out once and for all.
Good luck to you.
Thank you, Howard.
But look there, Roberto Duran in his dressing room. Intense. He has approached this fight with an almost religious fervor. I talked with him earlier. We'll have that conversation in just a moment. To Roberto Duran, so fierce, so challenging. The man who apparently had a major heart examination within the past 10 days. On the one hand, the man who, on the other hand, has manifested concern over the officials, most particularly the referee, Carlos Padilla. These two matters came up in my conversation with him earlier, a conversation in which the questions have been edited in the translation. There will not be a Spanish translation of those questions. Thus, my talk with Roberto.
Leonard thinks you've gotten too mad, that it'll hurt you in the fight. What do you say?
Leonard should be happy I didn't hit him in the street. He had so many bodyguards around him in the United States, so I couldn't hit him. He should bring them over here in the ring with him.
What was this heart business, and how did it come up?
I'll tell you. In 75, boxing for some 8 to 10 years, why should there now be something the matter with my heart? Who are they trying to kid?
You said you'd knock Leonard out. You stick to that?
Right.
Quick.
I don't know. If Leonard comes out fighting, I'll knock him out quickly. If he runs, then I'll also knock him out, but I'll knock him out for sure.
You are objecting to the selection of Carlos Padilla as the referee. If you're so sure you can kill this kid, why does the referee matter?
That is a problem for my manager. I have nothing to do with that.
Good luck.
And so the first big moment of the night, Roberto Duran being brought down toward the ring here in Montreal's Olympic Stadium. The fierce gladiator, the man who's had probably as big a hype as I've ever seen in boxing. The man who in his behavior pattern over the last 30 days has borne at least some resemblance to the late Charles Sonny Liston. The piercing eyes, the baleful stare, the rest of it. But a man with the record to back himself up all the way. The 70 fights, the 69 victories, the one loss early on to Esteban de Jesus, the 55 knockouts. A man who's a better boxer than he's given credit for being. A man who knows how to bob and weave, is a difficult target. A man who is adroit, a master at cutting off the ring on the opponent. And he'll have to be that tonight because it's a big ring. It's a 20-foot ring. The canvas, despite the earlier rains, absolutely dry. So there should be no slipping. Over in his corner, Duran. And the men in Duran's corner, of course, will be the familiar Ray Arcel and Freddie Brown. Between them, they have more than 100 years of boxing acumen. And here comes the golden boy, unbeaten Sugar Ray Leonard, the youngster who captured this city of Montreal in 1976, captain of that glorious American boxing team that won 5 golds, 1 silver, and 1 bronze. The man who gained the title with a brilliant exhibition against so skilled a fighter as Wilfred Benitez. But the man who's curiously seems to have lost this city in popularity to Roberto Duran, who has been so menacing in his training. who has clowned, who has jumped rope. There is Wilfred Benitez. And as a side romantic item, he and Sharon Leonard, Ray's sister, are now going steady together. She's wearing a ring. She will not disclose if the nuptials will occur. Anyway, apart from those social items, Leonard, surrounded by his entourage, including, of course, Angelo Dundee, Jenks Morton, and Dave Jacobs, who'll be in his corner going down toward the ring. Now, there are a host of other celebrities here. There is the greatest golfer of all time, Jack Nicklaus. Guy Lafleur of the Montreal Canadiens, welterweight challenger Tommy Hearns, super featherweight champion Alexis Arguello, super bantamweight champion Wilfredo Gomez.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Now, we'll be back in a moment. We're back at ringside, the Olympic Stadium in Montreal. There is Sugar Ray Leonard, the man who wants to silence his print critics forever. The man whom they've called a television product. But Duran, well, Leonard hasn't faced the likes of him. Yet, in fairness, Duran has not been the killing puncher in the above the lightweight classification that he was as a lightweight. Thus, so much of the anticipation, so much of the tension in the fight that, as I said, needs no build-up. Duran just been introduced to the crowd. Now let's hear the introduction of Sugar Ray Leonard.
Dans le coin bleu, in the blue corner, portant le maillot blanc avec barre bleue et rouge, wearing white trunks with blue and red stripes. To Palmer Park, Maryland. From Palmer Park, Maryland, President Sonia Louise, weighing 149 pounds, le champion mondial des poids moyens, the world welterweight champion, Sugar Ray Leonard.
So the introductions. We're almost ready for the fight. Harry Gibbs of England, Angelo Paletti of Italy, Raymond Bedarot of France will be the judges. They will score the fight. The referee, a figure of some controversy in the recent days, Carlos Padilla of the Philippines. A referee who magnificently oversaw the thriller in Manila, Ali against Frazier, the third time around. The ring is 20 feet, a big ring. That's Freddie Brown right behind Roberto Duran. Freddie Brown and Ray Arcel in the corner of Duran have more than 100 years of boxing acumen behind them. In Leonard's corner will be Angie Dundee. He's a shrewdie. Jenks Morton and Dave Jacobs. We're almost ready to go. 10-point must scoring system, scheduled 15-round, a mandatory 8-count, no standing 8-count, 3 knockdown rule waived, 8-ounce gloves. They are race Mexican gloves. And Duran staring at Leonard from across the corner. The bell, the action begins. These early rounds should tell a lot as to whether Leonard plans to let Duran carry the fight in the beginning, and whether Leonard plans to move, to run. Speed of hands and foot, Ray's trademark. Quick left in there. Watch Duran, the way he cuts the ring. Loves to get the opponent in the corner, against the ropes, anywhere, and then demolish him. Tremendous blows to the midsection in his arsenal. But look for Sugar Ray to go to the midsection too. First round action. 55 seconds gone. Watch for another thing. Leonard, with his great lateral movement, moving principally to the right. This is for the WBC version. WBA version held by a toughie, Pepino Cuevas. Leonard quickly in there. with a combination, and then another. But Duran, like a bull, a matador. Not a bull. Some have called Leonard the matador and Duran the bull. But I've told you, Duran's skills are very underrated as a boxer. Bobs and weaves brilliantly. Becomes a difficult target. With 2 minutes into round one. Leonard believes in modern technology, has studied the films, thinks that Duran is vulnerable. Leonard plans to move to his right often throughout the fight. Said on that side, Duran is vulnerable. There you saw Leonard going to the belly, as I earlier suggested. 25 seconds left in round one. Leonard weighed in at 144.9, Duran at 145.3. Coming to the end of round one. Bell for round two. Duran right out to ring center. Leonard there to meet him. So far, Leonard has not moved the way some expected he might in the early going. He had said he would not move. Duran lost anywhere from 5 to 7 pounds to make the weight within the last 36 hours. We'll have to see what effect, if any, that will have. Duran knows with a 5-inch shorter reach, he must get inside. And there you see him trying them all and brawl. He objected to Carlos Padilla, or at least Carlos Aleta, his manager and sponsor, did, on grounds that Padilla wouldn't let Antifermo fight inside against Mencher. I call that fight. I think Padilla was wrongly criticized. He is also the same man who refereed the Thriller in Manila. And anytime you don't see Joe Frazier fight inside, you never saw Joe Frazier. And he sure did give it to Ali on the inside that night in Manila. Fierce Duran landing a good punch, but Leonard looking over at Angelo Dundee in the corner and saying, no, he didn't hurt me. But this is the way Duran likes to fight, and certainly Padilla is letting him fight. Now, Leonard is in trouble. That is the one spot you don't want Duran to get you. In the corner, against the ropes, and now he's uppercutting Leonard. Duran fighting fiercely. I think I said earlier, he has approached this fight with an intensity that amounts to a religious fervor. He wants to do away with Sugar Ray Leonard, and quickly, if he can. Leonard not moving the way he has against other opponents. 30 seconds left in the round. Sugar Ray short with a right. Not yet taking advantage of the reach. The round clearly Roberto Duran's. Using his upper body strength against Ray. Now Ray holding on. Ray knows he must not fall into the Duran trap. Slipping punches with the head. The end of the round at hand. Thing to smile about. Here is the punch. Watch it right there, that left. That hurt Leonard, and smiling won't change it. Duran sought to make immediate capital of it. Leonard did reasonably well in holding him off. Now from another angle. that same left. There's a right that wasn't bad, but the left was the one that was really it. Now we're going to have to see Leonard tested as he has never been before. There is early jubilation in Duran's corner. Freddie Brown exhorting him on. Leonard was on his feet 20 seconds before the bell for this, the third round. But again, this is not a fight for posture. This is not a fight for Aliisms. It's a fight Leonard is going to have to make in a way perhaps he's never fought before. It's the fight of his young life. He's only had 27 bouts. Duran has had 70. And look at Duran, mauling, brawling, inside, trying to come up with the uppercut, using his shoulders against Leonard, his upper body strength. Duran knows all the tricks, the way Carlos Monzon did. How to use the elbows, the arms, the shoulders, everything. And against Leonard now, with Leonard against the ropes, he is scoring, and scoring heavily. I don't think Duran will be punching himself out. This is not a George Foreman, Muhammad Ali affair. Look at Duran, give it to him. And Leonard can't take an awful lot of this, I do not believe. Duran in charge of this fight early. And Leonard not fighting with any movement, not fighting according to the fight plan. But then Duran doesn't let him. He cuts the ring off. Leonard with a flurry, but no, not scoring well. Duran moves that head. It's almost imperceptible, but he moves it. Leonard's going to have to change his battle style. This is third round action. Duran, a big winner of the second round. The first round could have been called even, perhaps. And in this third round, it's all Roberto Duran. He has had Leonard against the ropes repeatedly. The very place Leonard doesn't want to be. Edwin Verriouet won 15 good rounds with Duran, but with steady movement. And Verriouet does not have Leonard's movement. Leonard's not showing that movement, not up to this point. We've got 20 seconds left in the third round. All Duran. Using his upper body brilliantly and without interference from Carlos Padilla. The end of the round is here. The bell for round 4. Duran eager to get to the fray, eager to finish off the opponent. Now clearly convinced that he can do it, having dominated the second and third rounds the way he did. A half sneer across Duran's face. Leonard purposeful, looking right into Duran's eyes. Now let's see if Sugar Ray tries to use some of that lateral movement, which I thought would be seeing a lot more of. Dundee, right to my right, looking very worried, and with good reason. This is the fourth round. Leonard to the right of your screen. Duran to the left. Both fighters in white trunks. But the red dots Duran's trunks. Look at Duran. His strategy clear. Pin him against the ropes. Maul him. Brawl with him. On the break, a quick left by Duran. Leonard looking worried. And off what we've seen with a good right, hurt Leonard. A good, quick, sharp right lead. Caught Leonard and hurt him. Again, Leonard against the ropes. Again, Duran all over. Leonard trying to hold and clutch. Padilla only slightly breaking it up. All the talk about Padilla so far, pure print nonsense. He has let Duran do his thing. Leonard trying to hold on, clinch, recapture some of himself here in the fourth round. But so far, Duran has been a tiger, reminiscent of his lightweight championship days. Less than a minute to go in the round. 50 seconds, in fact. Padilla close to the fighters, holding good position. Remember, the fight is scored by 3 judges. And for the 3rd straight round, it is all Duran. Leonard trying to fight back. How much punch, how much snap will be left in Leonard's punches after taking this kind of mauling remains to be seen. Look at Duran holding, using those shoulders. Leonard still pinioned against the ropes. Duran utterly dominant as we come to the end of round 4. The way Duran is fighting, he is fighting exactly as you would have expected. But think of all of the stuff you've read in print the past few days about how Padilla would favor Leonard. If anything, the opposite is true. Duran has mauled Leonard almost at will. And Leonard has not been able to cope. Not yet, anyway. Angie is now imploring Sugar Ray, trying to teach him. Joe Frazier right near me. Watch this right by Duran now. Good blow. And that sent Leonard back to the ropes and in defensive posture all over again. Duran right after him, all over. That left got in there. Round 5. Again, Duran, eager to get out there. Could hardly wait. Leonard with a good quick left. Maybe his best left lead of the fight. Certainly so. Quickly in there. A little smile across Dundee's face. What he's looking for. Beat him to the punch with those quick hands. The quick hands have not been in evidence tonight. Under and over, Angie is yelling. To the belly with the left, over with the right. That's what they mean. But can he do it against this tiger? So far, no. Again, Leonard against the ropes. A minute gone in round 5. Duran clutching his arm around Leonard. Always moving, working those shoulders. Leonard now holding. Leonard trying to put together some combinations, but Duran, as you just saw, spinning him around with his upper body strength and his holding and mauling and brawling tactics. A right lead, second time by Duran in the fight. Got in there. Duran fighting with a beard, not a full beard. Dundee objected to it, saying it might be a cushion. They decided to let it stick. We won't know if it's a cushion unless Leonard can get in some blows. Leonard still against the ropes. The fight in a redundant pattern now. Look at Duran, all over him. Going to extremes in his tactics and getting away with it. "40 seconds left in the 5th round. Leonard now trying to unload. Leonard suddenly taking the offensive for the first time in the fight. Leonard getting in a good combination to the head, fighting back, but again, pinioned in the corner, trying to get away from those ropes. It's a 20-foot ring. Leonard got in a good left. Now Duran fighting back. We're at the end of round 5. We're at ringside in the Olympic Stadium in Montreal. That was the bell for round 6. Round 5, Sugar Ray Leonard showed signs of life. My own view is that by the incessant complaining about the selection of Carlos Padilla as referee, Padilla has been leaning the other way. Duran has been mauling and brawling as much or more than I have ever seen. Leonard just scored with a left. Duran sneered, shook his head. No, I am not hurt. Nor was he. Padilla breaking. Ray with the right lead that missed. Look at Duran. And Padilla not stepping in. Look at Duran. He's got Leonard against the ropes again. His shoulders going up against Leonard's face. Put the shoulder in under the chin, then bring it up. It's an old tactic in boxing. What LaMotta did sometimes to Sugar Ray Robinson. Leonard is scoring better. No question about it. Punching faster now and scoring better. His problem is to get ring room. He is not using that ring. He hasn't been able to the way Duran has mauled him. Remember, this is 6th round action. And we have a minute to go. Leonard had this fight so carefully planned, but he hasn't been able to execute that plan because of Duran. Leonard with a good blow to the midsection. That was part of the plan. Leonard fighting better in the 5th and 6th rounds than he had been in the early rounds. Sixth round is on the verge of ending. Less than 10 seconds. Good left by Leonard. The bell for round 7 here in the Olympic Stadium in Montreal. Leonard with his back to you. Duran's tactics unchanging. Maul, brawl, hold, clutch. Use the shoulders, use the arms, use the elbows, use everything. Try and keep Leonard against the ropes. Now it's Ray clutching, which is not a bad tactic. Get the blows in and then hold and clutch yourself. Again, 7th round action, 40 seconds into it. Look at Duran, the head down in the manner of a blocking fullback, going straight at the opponent. A good left by Leonard. And then he scored with a right, and then he holds and clutches. Duran tried to throw a right, he missed. Short with it. Leonard's got to be careful from his point of view about that. A missed blow can leave himself off balance, vulnerable. Duran's a killer. A minute 15 seconds into this, the 7th round. Now it's Duran who's against the ropes. Interesting. the flow of action, isn't it? Right there, Leonard came up with a good left. Or rather, Duran did, forgive me. You'll never see more clinching. See how Duran got under that left by Leonard? That's where Duran is so underrated. He is not an easy target. But now, for the second time in the round, you saw Duran against the ropes. And right there, Leonard scored with a left and a right. Even though he missed one blow. Now the flow of the action, vastly different. Leonard looking to go to Duran's belly. See that? This is the 7th round, and the fight grows increasingly interesting. Sugar Ray boxing much better, much more confidently. That's it. The bell for round 8. The fighters in ring center. One thing has already been established. There would be no early knockout by Roberto Duran. This is not a punk kid he's fighting. Not a piece of cheesecake. Gifted athlete who in time may become a super athlete. You see Leonard go with the left to the Duran belly. Again, Duran mauling, crawling, trying to get Leonard against the ropes. But last round, it was Duran who kept going against the ropes. Ray trying to come up with a right uppercut. Crowd misled. Ray's blow was not a strong one. Duran was mildly off balance. Duran has conditioned himself magnificently. Duran with a little bit of fun in the ring. This is the 8th round, a minute 20 seconds into it. Duran at points, trying to taunt Leonard, to get Leonard angry. Leonard's tactic was to get Duran so angry he wouldn't know what he was doing. Duran not presently so effective with his clinching and mauling and brawling. Whether there is some evidence of fatigue, we can't know, not even at ringside. 2 minutes into the 8th round. Not a lot of blows scored in this round. Somebody said from Leonard's corner he's resting Ray, and I believe that's accurate. Duran has slackened the pace from his point of view in this round. 30 seconds left. It is, again, the 8th round. Leonard trying to work to the Duran belly. Convinced that Duran never has been hit there and doesn't like it there. 15 seconds to go. Leonard scoring to the head. Duran with a good right lead. That's been effective for Duran. The end of the round. Goes back to his corner. They have gone 8 rounds. If it goes to schedule 15, the fight is more than half over. And at this point in time, I would give only a mild edge to Duran, where earlier he had a huge edge. No question about it. Since the 5th round, it's been a different kind of contest. Freddie Brown talking to Duran. Freddie in the green sweater shirt and Ray Arcel in the white. Now watch. There's the left. There's the Duran right that we called. That was Duran's best blow of the round. From another angle. The pawing left lead. The good right that got in there.
Let's go, Ray. Let's go.
Round 9 underway here in the Olympic Stadium in Montreal. It's been not the greatest, cleanest punching fight you'll ever see. That has not been the Duran tactic, but it's been a tough, grueling encounter between two men whose boxing quality simply cannot be discounted. Right next door, there is another arena, the adjacent, the Maurice Richard Arena, where Leonard scored every one of his Olympic victories except for the finals. Watch his head, Dundee is screaming to Padilla. Charging that, look at the head right there. Charging that Duran is trying to subtly butt, maybe not so subtly. We're a minute into round 9. Duran has pulled every trick in the book in this fight. Every trick that goes with being a fighter for 70 fights and winning 69 of them. Right there, Duran has been effective all night, causing Leonard to miss more punches than I have ever seen Leonard miss. Of course, his loss early on was to Esteban de Jesus, which he avenged not once but twice. Did a fight in '74 in Panama. De Jesus floored Duran in the 1st round. By the 8th round, De Jesus was ready to quit. It ended in the 11th. Minute 45 into the round. Leonard's pace has slackened off in this round. Leonard not scoring. We are almost 2 minutes into the round. See how difficult a target Duran is? Always has been. Gets that head down. Hard to hit him cleanly. Bobs and weaves. Then clinches. Holds. Look at him hold. Right there. The arms around Leonard. The head pushing into Leonard's chest. 25 seconds left in the 9th round. And he's still at it, Duran is. Leonard trying to get punching room. Duran not giving it to him. 15 seconds left. Win or lose, Leonard's got a lot of fighting ahead of him. Good combination by Leonard. Duran trying to strike back. We're at the end of the round.
5 seconds.
The bell for round 10. Earlier on in this show, you heard Leonard say that he doesn't think Duran can beat an opponent who moves to his right. But look at this fight. Duran has taken Ray's strategy away from him. You haven't seen Ray moving to his right. You haven't seen the lateral movement that has so often been his trademark. Give Duran credit for that. Cutting off the ring, using his upper body strength so effective, and for being a difficult target to cleanly hit. In the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th, Leonard came on very well. Now it's gone back to Duran, or so it seems to me. You hear Dundee shouting downstairs, Ray? It's easier said than done, because look at the way Duran keeps himself. It's not easy to get to that body. Duran with the right, but this time it looked better than it was. Duran looked over at Benitez, sitting next to Bob Arum with a sneer and a smile. He feels he's got this fight in control. Leonard trying to go to the belly, then up to the head. Look at Dundee. Watch him. Toothpick in the mouth. Go to him, Ray, he's saying. Duran comes into a fighter and makes himself presumably easy to hit, especially by so punishing a counterpuncher as Leonard. But even there, Leonard hasn't been able to do that tonight. It's only a minute to go in the 10th round. .30 seconds to go in the 10th round. Ray cannot get his blows cleanly in. There's no question about it. Right there, a flurry. But he has not hurt Duran as we come to the end of the 10th round.
5 seconds!
In the 10th and the 11th rounds. And Dundee is working over Leonard. And Duran has been working over Leonard. And it has been a grueling match in which the tactics of Duran have been, as I see this fight, the dominant tactics. Here's the infighting, where Duran has overall excelled. See how that body is hunched over, how hard it is to get the blows into the belly when they're that way, which was the Leonard plan. Experience, a big part of this contest thus far. At 24, Leonard is learning a lot. Round 11. Ray with a right lead, a favorite tactic of his, but not one much in evidence tonight. I tell you, they worked Padilla over before this fight, and Padilla must have been listening, because Duran's had, look at that, he's had the brawling all his own way. Ray's corner is imploring him to go, go, go. But it's so easily said. Ray fighting back now with flurries, combinations. But look at Duran, still over the youngster. Still against the ropes. Ray looks tired to me now. Good left by Duran. Sharp, strong left. Leonard felt it. I tell you, Leonard, anybody wants testimony to Leonard's gameness, they can see it tonight. See, Ray is throwing some flurries, but they're not connecting cleanly. And look at that. Duran got in a beautiful left and right combination. And Leonard's tired. He's against the ropes. He's fighting back with courage. But he is the defensive fighter tonight. That was a good left by Leonard. A clean fight. But Duran came right out, spun Leonard around against the ropes again, and is teeing off on Leonard. Oh, bad miss by Leonard. This is a tiger, this Duran, no question about it. For the size, tremendous upper body strength. You just saw him land with a combination. Leonard still in the corner, pinned against the ropes. And time grows less and less for Sugar Ray Leonard. After that flurry, again Duran. Holding, clinching, using the body. Leonard with a good flurry that time, but Duran striking right back. The end at hand of this round.
Leonard was on his feet 20 seconds before the start of the round.
Maybe not so smart. Has to know that he's in deep jeopardy with regard to losing the title. Roberto Duran trying quick left, and then what in effect was a right lead. Leonard with his hands held low. For him, sometimes that's a natural posture, but now I think it's fatigue. What was it Lombardi said? Fatigue makes cowards of us all. Look at that. All night long you've seen that by Duran, and he's gotten away with it. This has not been a tidy fight. It has not had the clean punches that one might have expected. Not with the Duran tactics, but he's made those tactics work. That's what counts. Less than 2 minutes to go in the 12th round. A thread hanging off Duran's right glove. Padillo called an instant of time, removed the thread, the action resumed. Never have you seen Leonard's foot and hand speed nullified the way they have been tonight. Leonard with a right lead to the belly that stung Duran, who fought back immediately. From the corner, they are yelling right side, where they felt Duran was vulnerable. A minute to go in the 12th round. Hidden against those ropes as he has been much of the night, there is never the punching room, the leverage he needs to get the punching power that he has into play. Duran's head ever on his shoulders, sometimes against the chest. So the head not an open target. And we're coming to the end of round 12, and the seconds dwindle down to a precious few for Leonard. There's Sugar Ray Leonard standing on his feet. Roberto Duran in his corner. I don't think Duran will ever mock Leonard again. In fact, I'll be interested to see how this fight is scored based upon what you're saying right now. All of them, Dundee is yelling, and I think quite properly, stop that wrestling match. It may be in the scoring of this fight that I've been giving Duran too much credit because he hasn't. Oh, there was a good left. There was a good left. That hurt Leonard. Leonard now getting Duran against the ropes. "45 seconds into the 13th round. A minute gone. Leonard stung by a Duran left. 1:30 into the round. Good right lead. Fourth time in the fight that the right lead is scored for Duran. Left by Duran. He is getting away with murder. There's the Duran left arm around Leonard, holding him. I got to see how they score this fight. It's not the easiest thing in the world.
Exchanging furious punches. Here comes Duran.
Now that we can put Padilla's performance in perspective, he has gone to the other extreme. He has allowed Duran to do about what he wanted in that ring. Now, Duran is getting a pummeling at the moment. Duran got hurt with a left to the stomach. But now he comes back and scores with a combination. They are toe-to-toe, and the round ends. Sugar Ray Leonard again on his feet before the bell. And round 14. Quickly, Ray holds. Ray desperate to get into that midsection. A good left by Leonard. Then Ray holds. Proved effective in the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th rounds, scoring and then holding. Reversing Duran's tactics against Duran. It's a minute into the round. MD registering his verbal disgust with Padilla's performance. We've been watching this all night. Leonard against the ropes. Duran, his head against Leonard's chest, shoulder. Holding on. Trying them all. Ray has missed an uncommon number of punches tonight. But as I said, give Roberto credit for that. Now Duran is missing a lot, at least in this round. A minute left in this round. Left by Duran that looked better than it was. Look at that. You'll often see Anna Fermo do that. Dundee is on his feet. He's up on the ring apron screaming his complaints to Padilla. Ray with a kind of bolo punch. Duran smirking, sneering. So we come down to the end of it all. Either way for this night. Already, one can see in the making a rematch. The promoters licking their chops. The two unfriendly men who have been the co-promoters by force of circumstance. Bob Arum, Don Key. Each of them looking at each other with a wild surmise, not so silent, upon a peep at Darien. Already talking rematch. This is it, the final round. I tell you, watching Duran fight tonight has been somewhat like watching Anna Fermo, and it doesn't give you an easy fight to score. I'll be interested in the scoring. Leonard with a right lead and then a good left. But Duran is right back to brawling. Everything the infighting. The question, could he get inside? Well, Padilla saw to it that he got inside all night. Three judges score the fight, remember. Harry Gibbs, England. Angelo Paletti, Italy. Raymond Baudero of France. Ray miss his last attempted blow. You've seen him miss more blows tonight than you have ever seen him miss before. They're shouting in the background, "Go, Ray, go." He has, I think, evidenced his staying power to every sports fan in America. His guts. There is no cheesecake in that young man. That much can be said. 30 seconds left in this bout. Duran with two good quick lefts and a third left. Sugar Ray fighting back. But did you see the way Duran kept moving his head? Left, right, bobbing, weaving. Now Duran taunting him. Here's my chin. Hit it, hit it. Look at Duran walking around. He thinks he's got the fight in the bag. That much is clear from his point of view. And so the end of the fight. Ray holds his hands up. We'll have to see how this fight is scored. Myself, having watched the Duran tactics and seen those tactics nullify Sugar Ray's greatest assets, I would say that Duran has won this fight and the title. But that's for the officials to decide. Meanwhile, Duran being held aloft, claiming the victory. The crowd in what really amounts to bedlam. Sugar Ray Leonard being wiped off by Angelo Dundee. Duran still trying to taunt, as you see him there. Sugar Ray Leonard. Leonard looking back with what amounts to perhaps sardonic amusement. But retrospectively, this fight hinging upon Leonard's election of toe-to-toe tactics, fighting it Duran's way, and of course, Carlos Padilla, the referee, who let Duran do just about whatever he wanted. So, we're about ready for the official decision. Let's listen.
Mesdames et messieurs, la décision officielle des juges. Here is the official decision. Le juge Badirou. Duran, 146, 146. Leonard, 144, 144.
Badirou, the French judge, gives it 146, 144, Duran.
Duran, 147, 147. Leonard, 147, 147.
Paletti, the Italian judge, called it a draw.
Leonard, 144. Duran, 145, le nouveau.
And Gibbs of Britain gave it to Duran, 145, 144. As close as we anticipated. Indeed, a split because of the one vote for a draw. Roberto Duran is the new WBC welterweight champion of the world. And they are going crazy here in the Olympic Stadium at Montreal. Little more to be said about this fight. Some will say it lived up to the anticipation. Others may have found it too much of a wrestling match. But that's the way it was. And it is certain, under any circumstances, to be long remembered.
About a month has elapsed, as you know, since the Leonard Duran fight. And Sugar Ray Leonard is with us. He'll be meeting Carlos Padilla, the referee, and Roberto Duran, the new WBC welterweight champion. Right now, Ray, what have you been doing during the intervening days?
Just really relaxing. I took my wife to Hawaii, and we had a nice time there. As far as any other things, I've been pretty much reevaluating the situation, and I'm just putting pieces back together.
How is your wife? She was so upset at ringside and afterwards.
Yeah, the fight took a lot out of it because it was the first time she ever, saw me lose a fight. But she's okay now. She's fine. She's home with little Ray. No problem.
Any bitterness over the decision?
Not at all. We accept, what the judges saw. We, you don't have to take the bitter with the sweet. So there's no bitterness at all.
There's a point I'd like to make right now to our viewers. When we call that fight, it was called a split decision. And there was one apparent draw rendered by one of the judges. That was Paletti, the Italian judge. In point of fact, his scorecard was corrected some 2 hours later, and he had voted a 1-point edge, he stated, for Duran. So it became an unanimous decision for Duran. Meantime, we're going to look at highlights from rounds 2, 5, 11, and 14, with you analyzing over. Okay? Sure. Let's go then to the tape, and let's pick up with round 2.
This round here, I was hurt by left hook.
That was it.
It was very clean, and here I'm backing off. I'm trying to clear my head. Duran was throwing a number of body shots. He used his weight, his head a great deal. And what I was trying to do was to get my head back together.
This was later in round 2, by the way.
Yes, it took 2 or 3 rounds, Howard, to get my head clear. And I just wanted to fight Duran inside.
Now, Padilla did not split you then.
Well, I knew from that point that it was going to be a lot of fighting against the ropes.
Now, this was the 5th round, when your head had cleared and you began to take over.
I found that I could hit Duran with body shots, left hooks, and I knew that he respected me. From here on out, Duran respected my punching ability. But the main thing was to continue to throw punches. Duran is not that easy to hit like a lot of people think he is. He is very elusive.
Did you see Padilla there? Just slapped at the gloves, didn't separate you.
Well, then, like now, I'm not concerned with the referee because I know it's just me and Duran now. I just figure I have to deal with his particular style, his strategy, and the things that he do to me.
Now we come to round 11. And you have already mentioned how hard Duran is to hit. I have never seen you miss so many blows as you did.
As I view the fight, Howard, I see that the left hook that I was throwing, I missed quite often. I also realized that throwing shots to the body, I could have scored a lot more.
Now here's round 14. And again, you're going to see yourself missing.
Well, Duran, he kept his head low. He stayed in my chest. The left hook again missed. I was trying to throw combinations, start from the body, work my way up to the head, but his head never really was there.
Now, right there, Padilla did break you. Would the fight have gone differently, do you think, if he had broken you more frequently the way he just did?
I could have gotten off more cleaner blows. I would have more time to work my combinations.
There was your bolo.
I like that punch there.
That was a punch utilized by Kid Gavilan and another fighter, Seferino Garcia, many years ago, my friend.
But Duran, he was just a fighter. This fight turned into a wrestling match. It was not really a boxing match. It was a wrestling match the whole time.
Well, those were some highlights that pointed up, I think, the essence of the fight. Do you regret now your strategy, toe-to-toe?
No. I had a strategy and I planned it and I figured that it would work. I still feel that I had the edge. Very, very close fight. I mean, it was so close you couldn't put a thread through. But I felt that I punched Duran. Certain rounds, Duran threw punches that really didn't land flush. I threw more punches to the body. People are not used to me fighting inside. They're so used to me moving, Howard. So I think it was very hard for the judges to, score the fight because they're so used to Sugar Ray moving all the time. And when I stood flat-footed for 15 rounds, I think it was a shock to a lot of people.
Would you fight him the same way again?
No, because this particular time, I know for a fact that I can move on Duran, not much, just enough to keep him off balance a little bit more. This particular time, I was flat-footed the whole time. I did not get him in a lateral position, no lateral movement. I went straight for Duran. And I figured that I could take Duran apart in the later rounds, which you notice in the later rounds, he didn't throw that many shots. He didn't throw too many punches in the later rounds. What
puzzled me, you remember our interview before the fight, which our viewers have seen earlier, in which you said you were going to move to your right, that Duran had. You didn't do it.
I really couldn't do it.
That's the point I wanted to get to.
I couldn't move to
As long as Duran was fighting the way he was fighting and was allowed to do it, isn't that what nullified you? It wasn't the failure of your strategy. It was Duran being able to keep you the way he kept you.
It kept me from moving to the right because whenever I started, he would pretty much cut the ring off, but then again, I could have moved to the left. But we stayed so close together. I mean, his head was in my face the whole time, in my chest. He threw punches from the sides. But, I don't want to sit here and say, hey, I got so many excuses because I have none. But it's a different story. I read reports that Duran will move up in weight, try to emulate Henry Armstrong. But I'll be right behind him. I want to fight Duran again. I really do.
You do?
My way.
That's what I wanted to hear.
My way.
Okay. Well, we'll be joining, Ray and I, Carlos Padilla, when we come back in just a moment. In a Duran fight. He came to this fight with widely recognized credentials. After all, he had been the referee of Ali Frazier, third time around, the Thriller in Manila. He had been criticized by Vito Antuofermo, who claimed that Padilla had interfered with Antuofermo's attempts to infight when Antuofermo fought Alan Minter for the first time. All of this was widely reported by the press. And there was a meeting before the Leonard Duran fight involving Jose Suleiman, the president of the World Boxing Council, Carlos Padilla, and the three judges. Now, first of all, and these are going to be very direct questions, Carlos, with all the reports by the press before the Leonard Duran fight about would Duran be allowed to fight the fight his way, or were you going to interfere the way you did with Antuofermo? Were you intimidated? Did you go into this fight feeling you had better not break the fighters apart?
No. Every fight that I refereed, I just do my own judgment. I was not intimidated.
Why was the meeting held by Jose Suleiman with you and the judges, and what was discussed in that meeting?
Actually, it's not a meeting. It's just a briefing because, the three judges and me, we go to Suleiman's room, and, because this is a big fight, you cannot think that he's worried that, he briefed us to do our best.
I'll tell you what troubles me. Even before your meeting with Suleiman, Carlos Aleta, the sponsor of Duran, manager if you will, and Don King, the promoter, met with Suleiman because Aleta had said Duran has to be allowed to fight the fight his way. Did Suleiman in his meeting with you refer to that earlier meeting with Aleta and King?
I never met Aleta or Don King in Montreal.
And Suleiman didn't mention to you in any way, you must let Duran fight the fight his way?
No.
You're satisfied that you broke the fighters enough? You saw the way Duran fought.
Well, the way I separate the boxers, especially the category of Leonard and Duran, they are really great boxers. It's too early, they're still strong. So what I do is I just stop the hands. If I cannot lose the hands by tapping it, I separate it. That's
Now,
my...
You just watched the highlights we showed. Just now, you were up in the control room before you joined Ray and May. You did just tap the gloves, as you just noted, in the earlier rounds. You did show a tendency, to some degree, to break the fighters in the later rounds. But still, Duran fought that whole fight, and you saw it. Barging in, the head down, using the head, the shoulders, the arms, everything. He'll lean on you, crowd you, muscle you. Don't you think you should have broken them more?
Well, I didn't see that way. I see it's a good fight. And, because Duran is smaller, that's what I think. So he has to get closer.
Do you have any questions you want to ask the referee?
Yeah.
Ray?
Well, the only thing that I really didn't like within the fight was the fact that on the breaks, Duran would commit a foul. He would throw a punch. But I knew that maybe it's just instinct of a fighter, so I didn't squawk too much about that. But Duran kept his head within my chest. But see, like I said, Howard, I don't want to sit here and say, hey, these fouls were committed. I'll just say the next time around, I'll pretty much do my own thing.
How would it have been possible for you not to go into this fight affected, influenced to some extent by everything that had appeared in the papers?
Well, Howard, that's the way a referee. Before the fight, some are asking, how do I feel? If I'm nervous, I said, no, I'm relaxed. Because the bigger the fight, I'm more confident. What in my mind is to do my best. And the referee, especially the break, how to break, it develops during the fight. And it depends upon the boxer.
Let me ask you a question. Let's assume these two men fight again. Ray has said he wants to fight Duran again. Let's assume you were the referee. Would you referee the same way, or would you change your tactics?
Well, it depends upon the situation. It depends.
What do you mean?
Well, during the fight, the referee's movement and the movement of the boxers, I don't know how to explain it. You just do it in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
It develops. Like when, when one boxer's hands is tied, so you could just slap it. But when they are on the clinch position, and you cannot take it by slapping, so you have to separate them.
Okay. I thank you for coming by. I do.
Thank you also, Howard.
Hold yourself together. All right. Thank you too, Ray. Good to see you.
Thank you.
And so, We'll be back in just a moment. We'll be talking, of course, with Roberto Duran through his interpreter in just a moment. But first, because the scoring, the official scoring of the Leonard Duran fight was so terribly close, I'd like to bring to your attention the official scorecards. There were 3 judges who did the scoring. There was no voice in the scoring by the referee. Judge Badereau, on the 10-point must system, gave Duran 6 rounds, Leonard 4, called 5 even. Duran, 146 points, 144 for Leonard. For a losing round, each fighter got 9 points. Judge Paletti scored incredibly 10 rounds even, 3 for Duran, 2 for Leonard, and so it was 148 Duran, 147 Leonard. The more familiar to Americans, British judge Harry Gibbs scored it 6 rounds Duran, 5 Leonard, 4 even, 145 Duran, 144 Leonard. So quickly, may I go to the champion Roberto Duran through Luis Enriquez, his longtime friend and interpreter, and ask you, Luis, was Roberto surprised then, and is he still surprised now at the closeness of the scoring?
Thank you, Howard. Ese joven que si está sorprendido de que al final de la pelea el resultado fue tan cerrado.
Bueno, sí, porque yo creo que gané más amplio.
Yes, I was surprised because I think that I won much easier.
There has been talk of Roberto moving up in weight classification. Leonard says if Roberto does that, he'll follow. He's determined to get a rematch. A, will he move up in weight classification? B, will he give Leonard a rematch?
Se han oído conversaciones y rumores de que posiblemente pelees en un peso o que subas de peso. Leonard dijo en este mismo programa, si Duran sube de peso, yo subo de peso. Y segundo, si sucede lo que se piensa, ¿cuándo piensas darle una revancha a Leonard?
Primero, que ahora mismo yo no estoy pensando subir de peso. Y tercero, que mi promotor ahora es Don King, ya no es Bovaro. Así que cuando diga, yo estoy dispuesto a hacerla cuando él quiera, porque esta vez lo va a tirar más rápido.
First of all, I'm not thinking of going up in weight. And second, my promoter is Don King, not Mr. Adams, so at the moment they will have to speak to Mr. King and my manager and discuss going up in weight.
But will he give Leonard a rematch?
Piensa darle una revancha a Leonard.
¿Cómo no?
Why not?
Si hay plata, ¿por qué no?
If there's money,
Si él no me la quería dar a mí.
he didn't want to fight me. So if there's money, I'll fight him anytime.
Ahora sí yo voy a pedir billetes.
Now I'm going to ask for some money.
Mm-hmm. All right. Will he fight Leonard the same way again?
Piensa pelear con Leonard de la misma manera.
No, como él venga.
No, depending on how he comes to me.
Will he knock him out this time?
Right.
Okay.
Esta vez sí le
didn't even
reviento la vida.
This time I'm going to just really destroy him.
All right. Does he
Esta vez yo voy a estar mucho mejor y me voy a preparar mucho mejor a mi modo.
I will be much better my own way.
Does he feel Carlos Padilla, the referee, helped him, Roberto, let him fight his fight?
¿Tú crees que el referee Carlos Padilla te ayudó a dejarte pelear de tu manera?
No mucho.
Not much. Not much.
No me dejó hacer lo que yo quería a mi modo.
He didn't let me do my thing my way.
What didn't he let him do?
¿Qué es lo que no te dejó hacer?
Cada vez que él me abría, él me acomodaba como para que Elena me metiera la mano así de sorpresiva, que me pudiera meter una...
He used to...
o sea, me puede meterme una mano rápido y noquearme, yo tenía que estar vivo.
He used to open up both of us, but giving Leonard the advantage so Leonard could hit me in the infight. So I had to be fast enough not to get hit.
Leonard says that he hit on the brakes.
Dice Leonard que tú pegaste cuando abrieron.
No. Dile que,
No.
que sea hombre y sepa hablar.
Tell him to be a man and to speak the truth.
He was a man. He admitted that Roberto, I must tell you, he admitted that Roberto's skill in cutting off the ring stopped his movement, and he admitted that Roberto is a master at slipping punches, bobbing and weaving. And that's what made Leonard miss so much.
Sé que él se portó como un hombre en la entrevista, que él aceptó que tú eres un máster cortando un ring.
Weren't those skills of Roberto's the key to the victory?
Él cree que esos puntos fueron los puntos en que tú ganaste la pelea. Cortando el ring, metiendo golpe uno izquierdo, pasando golpe.
Tenía que hacer así porque él no me dejaba pelear, me tenía muy amarrado. Parecía una araña.
The referee wasn't really letting me fight my way, so I had to do that.
Okay. It was a memorable fight. I don't know whether or not it was a great fight, but it was a
Fue una pelea
memorable fight.
memorable.
Right now, let's take a look at the welcome home that Roberto got when he went back to Panama City. Huge crowds at the private airport in Midtown. Roberto emerging, wearing the familiar cap and showing the crowd his WBC welterweight championship belt. The fight is history now, and Roberto has already been called the fighter of the prior decade. As you look at him right here in our ABC studios, we congratulate him again on his victory, and we agree this is one of the greatest fighters, inch for inch and pound for pound, of all time. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Howard.
Take care, man. And so the wrap-up, Leonard against Duran. You've seen the fight in its entirety. You could have scored it for yourselves as we went, and you've met the three people.